Thank you guys. A little bit behind the scenes on the video that we just shot for Lamont Burns' barbecue series. It's been a fun shoot. All of the stills and video that are in this program were shot by Steve Burns. I've cut this little thing together, and the music is from the YouTube library of free downloading music. So let's get going here. So early in the morning on day number 1, we're getting set up in Steve's kitchen. That's Tom Willits on the left, who is the producer. This was all largely his idea to put this together. In the background is John, a friend of Steve's, who served as our on-screen taster and also helped us prep this. And there, standing behind the little grill, is Lamont, the barbecue chef himself. Before we could get going and really set up anything, I needed to find out pretty much what it was we were going to be doing, how things were going to be laid out, where we should be setting up, and mostly what it was that Lamont was going to be doing pretty much step by step. So here we're having a little pre-setup consultation. Finally, we're starting to get camera gear and all in place. Here I'm setting up the Ursa, getting the settings for the camera, for resolution, for all of those things, all of the housekeeping duties that you need to do with the video camera before you can even begin to start shooting. Because we really didn't have anyone that could do the audio work, that could handle the boom or microphone, while Lamont is continuing to get his stuff ready to go. I'm getting set up here, and what this bizarre device you're seeing is, and you'll see it in a later shot, is the arm and grip to hold the fish pole that's got the boom mic on it, instead of having to have some poor devil stand there with his hands in the air for hours on hours and try to make use of all this. The Ursa was one of 2 cameras I was planning on using. In this case, what it's really designed to do, because it's so good with detail and that kind of resolution, I have it set up Lamont's hands and on the food that he's doing, and get those types of cutaway shots. Because there was no one to help drive it, it's really a case of having the 2 cameras running almost simultaneously, and then in the final edit cutting back and forth between the 2. The main camera that I was using for the master shots is a Sony. That's a really beautiful smaller camera. It's a shoulder mount camera designed really more for ENG type shooting, but it served perfectly in this particular application. And the 2 cameras were really pretty easy to cut together. So here we are setting up the Sony. This is also the camera that we used to put the primary audio on. After some kibitzing and suggestions from the peanut gallery, it was time to get going here. So here we're getting started. I'm giving Lamont his last minute instructions. You can now see the lighting that's set up inside the place. Tom is coming in and doing the slate for it, and we'll be off and running. Here's Mr. Director getting Lamont to pick up something in a different way, or to change the way he's just done some action, so we can make it a little better for the video. One thing that is constantly on your mind is activity that works perfectly in reality doesn't always photograph well. The reason the shoulder mount camera was so important for this shoot is there were going to be times when we needed to move right in on a subject, especially when Lamont moves over to the stove to show something. And the Sony is so much easier to use than that. I have a shoulder mount for the Ursa, but it's a 20-pound rig, and this is so much easier to use, particularly in the tight quarters like in a kitchen. And here you can see us moving right in on the scene to get that specific viewpoint for it. This gave us a good cutaway to use. Lamont made several closed changes. This series was designed to be small segments that would be used on his website and blog over a period of time. In this shot, though, you can see the critical parts. In this case, we only were lighting that we were used, a back rim light to match the window light coming in from the side, a detail light that is focused specifically right on the food, so it's lit primarily from the side, giving it a little bit of depth. The main fill light is right by the patio doors to enhance that a little bit. And you can also see the fish pole and the boom mic that's located in the front of the setup. This is a very tight setup. It made for interesting working conditions as you would thread your way in and out of all these light stands. On day 2, we went outside to shoot something a little more rustic, and here Tom is showing me what it is he has in mind for the shoot, and has created this little tableau to provide a background shot for us for some purpose or another, and then we'll get on with the morning's setup. There was the Sony setup for the master shot, and then the Ursa over here set up for a shot from the side in order to do the detailed shots. Our cameraman here, Steve, is moving a little bit erratically, but at least you can see the material that's there. Then Lamont steps in and delivers his work. Here you can see one of the outdoor fill lights, the boom mic overhead, and a rim light on the other side that's giving some enhancement to the shot. And this was going to help Lamont stand out a little bit, and also to fill in his face. That ball cap created a huge shadow problem. It was kind of his signature outfit, so he needed to be wearing it, but it was a problem for us. So with Tom once again providing the slate for our outdoor shooting, we were off and running. All in all, the shoot took about a day and a half to do. Editing will be considerably longer because of the need to cut all of these pieces together. But that would give you a quick look into putting together the shoot side, at least for this little video. Hope you enjoyed it.